Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy new year. We are in 2018. Wow, 2017 certainly flew by, but it was a great year for me. So today I'm going to be showing you guys all of my makeup favorites for 2017. These weren't necessarily all new releases in 2017. They were just probably new discoveries for me. And so if you would like to see all of my makeup favorites for 2017, let's get started. Alright guys, so to start off, I'm gonna kind of go in order of how I would usually apply my makeup. And if you guys don't already know, I don't really use primer because I never really know if primer is actually doing a good job, if it's actually prolonging my wear. And also I don't really have big pores. So anyways, but I am a moisturizing girl because I have dry skin. But this year, I discovered the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Primerizer, which includes primer and moisturizer. So I am going to be putting it in the primer category. And honestly, I really liked this product. It's very lightweight, it's very water-based, and honestly, when I first tried it on, if you guys didn't see my SMASHBOX first impressions, the new releases, I didn't really like this at first because it was very watery, and I thought, you know, what can it do for my skin, especially because I have such dry skin. But honestly, it does such a good job. I wear this a lot and I've been using this for months, and you can tell that it just barely has a dent in it. This is pretty pricey. I think it's around like the $40 range, but I did buy this on sale at Ulta for the 20% off sale that usually comes like 2 or 3 times a year. So moving on to foundation. I do have more than one foundation for the year, and I'll tell you guys why. On my everyday wear, I want something with SPF, and honestly, I have been loving the IT Cosmetics CC Cream with SPF 50. I am in the shade medium if you're curious. Now, don't be afraid if you do see the CC Cream on this. And what I love about this foundation, first of all, it has a little, what is it called? Like a squeeze bottle, you know, so you don't have to pour it out. And I've been using this for over a year, and I'm finally going to be almost empty. I do have a little bit left, and the reason I know that I love this is because I bought a backup of it, guys. And usually I will not buy backups of foundation because this does run around the $40 range as well. But I love this because this is a dry girl's heaven foundation. Okay, I know that one thing that does like is a bummer about this IT Cosmetics CC Cream is that there's not a big wide variety of shades. But if you can find it, and if you are dry skin like myself, you will like this. I really like using this on every day. It's like, it's not luminous, but it's not also a matte finish. It's somewhere in the middle, like a satiny finish. And I think that's what I truly really discovered this year about my skin, is that I love something that is more satiny, and this definitely does a really good job. This is more of a medium, and it can be buildable to a full coverage, but I love this for everyday wear. On to the next foundation is Maybelline's Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. I am in the shade 220 Natural Beige if you're curious. Now, what first of all I love about this foundation is it's pretty affordable. I think it's around like, it's under 10 bucks. And they do have a pretty good range of shades to choose from. They also have a matte finish if you are on the oily skin side. But for me, I really like this foundation because this is like a bulletproof foundation for me. I've been loving it. It's a full coverage, medium to full coverage, and it never gets cakey. I can wear this for 10, 12 hours and it always holds up. I never have a problem checking up on this foundation. It never gets into my fine lines that usually happens around my nose or my smile lines. It really does a good job. And to the last foundation is Estee Lauder's Double Wear. I am in the shade 3-in-1 Ivory Beige, and if you haven't tried this foundation, this is a really good foundation. It is full coverage. I always wear these during special occasions and when I have an event that I want to look good, but I love the look of this. It's very full coverage. It has a satiny finish like the others. there's a theme, guys. And so, but the only thing that it was a bummer for me was that it didn't originally come with like a little pump. I actually had to purchase the pump on the side. They do have it online, available at Ulta if you're curious, for like $10. So if you add up the $40 foundation and then you have to buy the $10 pump, it is about $50, which is a bummer. But honestly, that saves, like buying the pump, I think it's worth it, because like the Maybelline Fit Me doesn't have a pump, and I think I end up wasting or using more foundation than I have to. And it just does a really good job. It holds up all night. I never have any problems. Moving to concealers, my 2017 that I just could not put down and love, first of all, is Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind, and in the shade Light Pale. And I'm just going to show you guys exactly how much I've used. Like, if you can't see, there's like only this much left. So you can definitely tell that this was one of my favorite drugstore concealers. The only thing, like I said, is kind of strange because it has like this little sponge on the top. So it can be kind of like a hygienic problem, and it builds up more on the bottom. So you don't really get to the bottom, and you use more on the top when you're swiping it, so it can get stuck, the concealer gets stuck, like waste of products on the bottom. But I love the coverage. It is definitely a more medium to full coverage concealer, and that's another thing that I found out about this year too. I also really like medium to full coverage concealer. I don't really have like dark circles or not a lot of bad areas that I feel like I need to conceal. But I know like right here in the inner corners of my eyes, it is dark, like right here, but not necessarily a lot on my underneath my eyes. So I do love using this, and I know that I will definitely have to repurchase this. But I love the coverage, I love how affordable it is, and I can just pick it up almost anywhere. I think this comes as no surprise, obviously, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium. I know for a fact this did not come out this year because I've been using this for almost a year already, and I know that I still have some product to go through. First of all, I love the wand. It just gives so much coverage. If you can see, it's such a big wand, and for me, I just like to just like put on dots. I do not like to swipe it because this has so much coverage that I feel like you just need the littlest amount, and it does such a good job concealing anything, guys. And what is there really to say, guys? Really good concealer. Honestly, Shape Tape has been the gold standard for concealers for what, 2 years now, guys, on running. So I think this is no surprise. All right, so the next product is more of a tool, but because I'm showing you guys exactly the way and process how I would usually apply my makeup, this year I have been loving the Real Techniques complexion sponge, where it's flat on one side and it comes to a point on one end. I just love this. I've been using this honestly for like over 6 months. I know that they recommend you to buy a new one every 3 to 4 months, but because I don't wear makeup every day, I kind of felt like I was able to get away with that. And honestly, like, I've had no problems with tearing. I love that it gets, like, when you soak it in water, it just plumps up, and it's soft. Like, it's a good like a good bounciness, you know what I mean? If you guys use beauty blenders or complexion blenders, anything, guys, like, it's just a good kind of bounce, and it's very affordable. I think one typically runs like $7, so you know, you can't really beat that. I know that people love the beauty blender. I have not tried it because I'm just not willing to pay $20 for one beauty blender, you know, but I love this, and honestly, it has not disappointed. Alright guys, so moving on to powders to set my concealer. In the beginning of 2017, I loved using the RCMA No Color Powder. And this is very affordable. I believe I purchased this for only $12. And I love this because I have dry skin, and I hated using powders or setting my face. Like, honestly, like, half of the time I don't set my foundation at all. I only set my concealer right under my eyes because I feel like whenever I set my face, there's so much dry patches that just come out, and I hate that, what powder does to my foundation. But I never had any problems with the RCMA No Color Powder. If you have dry skin, I highly recommend you to try this because it's, first of all, so affordable and you get so much product. The only thing is that the packaging is kind of a bummer because it comes in like a salt shaker style. I don't know if you can see that. So it really doesn't give you a good way to use this. What I typically do is I'll take off the cap and then I'll literally pour some out, or if I'm using, let's say, the sponge, I'll dip my sponge in there and then just set my concealer with this. All right, and then another powder, this is a pressed powder that I love to use to set my under eyes. And as of lately that I've been using is the Kat Von D contour palette, the middle banana shade. I believe it's called Lyric. As you can see, oh, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've actually hit pan. And honestly, I'm very surprised because with the amount of makeup that I have, I honestly thought I would never hit pan. But I love it. It just has just a softening effect where I'm wearing it today and it doesn't look heavy. It does not look powdery. And maybe it's also the yellow shade that it does such a good job under my eyes. So honestly, I love the Kat Von D. That is probably my holy grail for right now. Alright guys, and for brows, if you've seen any of my videos, guys, this is not going to come as any surprise. The brow product that was my ultimate favorite for 2017 is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and I use the shade Dark Brown. I love this because, first of all, one side has a spoolie to help even out your brows, to kind of, if you put on too much product, to kind of help even out that product, spread that product around. And then secondly, I just love the formula on the product itself. It's so pigmented and it's so easy. There are some brow products that I've used, and I'm not going to mention, that are so waxy and I literally start seeing like crumbles, and it's just not easy to spread around the product. But for this, I never have a problem. I love how this always comes out. The only thing I would say is I think that the packaging, but I think this is typical of Anastasia Beverly Hills. The packaging is like cheap. Like, I don't think this is a really high-end packaging because I think Benefits looks better, but I love the product, and honestly, I'm gonna keep using this until I literally finish my like 6, and then I'll jump on to the next. All right, so usually after brows, I get started with my eye makeup, and I am a palette girl. I love eyeshadow palettes because I do not like reaching for different singles, and honestly, for me, like, if I have a palette, I already have an idea like what shades are in there. So if I know that I want like a warm tone look, then I will reach for like a warm tone palette. Alright, so for this year, I loved, like I said, I loved warm toned palettes. You know, I'm guilty of that, and I feel like that was the trend of 2017. I mean, am I wrong, guys? Alright, so anyways, one palette that I honestly did not love at first, or did not think that I would love or end up liking so much, is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. Okay, first of all, this is a really versatile palette in that it has so many shades. There's warm tones, there's some browns, and then there's just some fun, cool tone colors down here. And I did originally buy it when it released. If you didn't see my Jaclyn Hill first impressions review, I will link it in the cards. But at first, I wasn't really impressed. I was like, okay, and you know, it's another Morphe palette, nothing too biggie. But then what I realized was that every time I traveled, like, this would be the palette that I would take literally over every single other palette. And honestly, it's been such a good palette. I don't have regret buying it. The only thing that I would say that I would kind of change or add is that there are too similar shades. Like these two right here, they are both like good transition shades. I feel like we could have just threw one out. These two are sparkly, like highlight brow shades or inner eye shades, and it's like we could have just threw those out. There's really no matte cream bone shade to kind of set your entire eyelid first, or kind of like finish off the highlight without it being shimmery. But other than that, I love that there's a black in here, and this this palette is very pigmented. I love the payoff, and I'm really glad that I actually ended up picking it up. Now there is another eyeshadow palette that I really loved and could not put down, especially during summer, and honestly that has to go to ColourPop's Yes Please eyeshadow palette. This was their first launch of their pressed powder palette, and honestly it was sold out so many times, but I just love it. Similar to the Jaclyn Hill, it's also a warm tone palette. Like I said, 2017 was a warm tone palette year, right? But I love this because I honestly was so surprised at the quality. ColourPop has launched so many good eyeshadow palettes, and I love their mattes. They're so pigmented, very easy to blend. The only thing, like I said, is that they are a little bit tinier, the pans, compared to like a typical or their regular single eyeshadows. But they're really good. My only thing with ColourPop is like, why are you releasing so many? I cannot keep up. I wish I could buy them all, but I know for a fact I will not use them. So easy to take with you when you travel. Look how tiny it is, guys. Just like fits perfectly on your palm. The only thing is it doesn't come in a mirror, but it's so affordable. It's like $16. So honestly, you just can't go wrong. Whew, this is such a long video. Oh, have you guys made it this far, guys? Oh, I feel like I've been talking forever. Moving on. So usually after I finish my eye makeup, and then I move on to eyeliner. And if you guys have seen any of my tutorial videos, what is the eyeliner I always use? I mean, this comes as no surprise. I love the NYX Collection Liquid Black Liner. In case you're curious, this is what it looks like. First of all, it's so affordable. You can find it everywhere, like at Ulta. And I love that it has a brush tip compared to a felt tip, because I feel like it just doesn't dry out. It's so easy to use and glide, and it's so pigmented, and it dries really quick, so I don't have to worry because I have hooded eyes. So for mascara, I have two to show you guys today. And the first one is the Tarte. I believe this is the Lash Paint Mascara. It's super pigmented and it lasts for a long time. It does come in the like one of those plastic spoolies, so there aren't very different size on bristles. It's for pretty much the same throughout, but I just love it. It's so pigmented and it really spreads my eyelashes apart instead of clumping it together. So I've been loving using this. So for my next mascara, I discovered this 2 or 3 months ago when it first released, and it is the L'Oreal Voluminous Paradise Mascara. It's super good, it's super black, and it really lengthens and volumizes my eyelashes. I love this. Here is the wand in case you're curious. Ooh. So it has like this really weird brush where it kind of twists, where it's like big and then it gets small and it gets big again at the end, which honestly I thought, I was like, oh, I wasn't gonna like this, but honestly I really like it. And it's just so pigmented and it lengthens volumes. It does everything that I believe a mascara should do, and at a very good price. And for 2017, my favorite contour bronzer has to go to also the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Honestly, this is my go-to palette. I take this everywhere with me. I use these two, the warmer shade and like the little cooler shade, to bronze up my face, and then I go in with the deeper one to contour. I just love Kat Von D, her face products. They're just so pigmented, so blendable. They're never too ashy, or they never like skip on my face. It's a really, really good palette, and honestly, if I ever run out of this, I will most definitely get another. Alright, so for eyelashes, I have been loving the Ardell Demi Wispies, the Studio Effects one, where they are double stacked on the end. I'm wearing it right now, currently, and they just never fail me. First of all, the band on the eyelashes are so comfortable. They're almost non-existent, and they really take shape to whatever eye shape you have. We're finally moving on to the face products, alright? So for blush for 2017, One of my favorite was the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush, and this is in the shade Party. I received this during Sephora's birthday month that they were giving out, and honestly I have loved and used this almost every single time if I don't really want to think, you know, like what kind of blush would go good with my eye makeup. It's what I'm wearing today. It's very subtle. It's a very like muted light pink where it's very soft and rosy, so it will go good with any makeup look. If you want something dramatic or something very soft, you know, it's something that it's not too flashy and too popping. It's just something that I feel like it's a very safe blush. Another blush that I've just been loving is last year's Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush Palette in the color wheel. I just love these formula. It does say that it's the Amazonian Clay Blush Palette, but it doesn't say the 12-hour. So I don't think it's the exact same formula, but I just love that. First of all, this palette lasts me forever. It's been a year, and look guys, I haven't even made a dent in it. But just the variety and just the quality of these Tarte blushes never fails. If you guys didn't see my Sephora VIB sale, I also picked up this year's color wheel, and I'll link it in the cards if you're curious. But I just love Tarte's blushes. Tarte just took my whole entire blush for the year of 2017. So moving on to highlight. So for the year of 2017, I really started out, you know, I kind of slow picking up with highlight because I don't really like the wet look. I really want a very like nice glow where it's very like a glow within. Okay, so for 2017, I really started out with this very like OG highlighter, the Mary Luminizer. And I don't know if this was the highlight that kind of started the entire highlight trend, but it's just such a nice highlight because first of all, it's so pigmented. It has like a champagne-y finish, and I feel like this can be a very subtle or a very bam in your face highlight as well. So I really started out with this highlight. I'm very slow to the highlight trend, guys, but I've been really liking this, and this is also just a very safe highlight. If you're just not sure like what kind of highlight you want to go with, you want something but you don't want something that's too much, I think this is a good option. Oh, and this is from The Balm Cosmetics if you're curious. Also, another highlight for the year that I've been loving that I picked up during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty is Ofra's highlighter in Rodeo Drive. This is also a champagne finish highlighter, but it's just so bam in your face like glow. I mean, just look at that. So that side was Mary Luminizer from The Balm, and this one is Rodeo Drive from Ofra. And this one, just if I know that I want something very, very shiny, I definitely go for Rodeo Drive. These are on the pricier side. I mean, I would never pay full price for these, but I'm really glad that they had sales on this because it is a really good highlighter, and I'm pretty sure with the amount of product, like, I'm never gonna hit pan. Okay, moving on to lips, guys. So for 2017, I have been loving ColourPop's Ultra Satins. That's just a given. Honestly, like, there's really no other formula that really astounds me. I think, like, what is it? Oh, Dose of Colors comes pretty close. Like, their Ultra Mattes, I really like theirs as well. But for 2017, I really have not stopped using the ColourPop's I Love Sahari Ultra Satin in a 951 lipstick. So this is just a really, really good like nude shade, but this is in like more of a brown, like a dusty pink brown undertone, and I just love this lipstick. I feel like I wear this with everything. I do have it on today as well, and honestly, I just been loving this lipstick. It's so comfortable. I love their Ultra Satins. Their Ultra Mattes are way too drying for me because So I can't really wear the Ultra Mattes, but I've just been loving the Ultra Satins all year. But just as one of my favorite shades is 951 from the I Love Sahari collab. Alright, and then usually I like to finish my makeup off with some kind of setting spray, but for the year of 2017, I have been loving my Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe vera, cucumber, and what is it? Oh, and green tea. First of all, just look on the side, guys. Like, I got this in 2017, and I'm like probably a little bit under than half. First of all, I think this is pretty affordable. I think it's like $7. And also, I just love the scent of the green tea. And it just gives such a fine spray. And for me, I'm dry skin, so I don't really like the powdery look. And for me being dry skin, I want something that's gonna kind of give my face moisture. I don't really care for the prolonging of the makeup. I really want something that's gonna melt my makeup all together and just bring it, you know, together. Alright guys, so that is pretty much all of my favorites, most news, and best of 2017 makeup products. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to be notified every time I upload a new video. And please like my video if you did. So I will be seeing you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for watching again. Bye guys.